Welcome to Sassy Mama Spotlight, where I feature women from all walks of life and where we come together to relate, connect, and inspire one another through our everyday journeys. I'm your host, Brittany Johnson. Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to Sassy Mama Spotlight. We are so excited for you guys to join us again. I have the beautiful and inspiring woman, Lexi Kinney. I am so grateful that you are here, my friend. It is an honor. Thank you for taking your time and out of like the mom life, because I know you're crazy busy, and I just really appreciate your time. I wanted to introduce this beautiful woman and her passionate self. She is a wife and a mom of 3 girls, almost 3-year-old, and 14-month-old twins. So life is busy, to say the least. And she's very good at it. She juggles everything with grace and so much beauty. And I'm sweating for her when I watch her, but she does it so gracefully. She works in healthcare tech sales during the day, and a full-time mom, and the rest of the time in our life, pretty much basically 24/7 for her. As the oldest of 4, Lexi always loves a little chaos. And these days you'll find them outside exploring whenever they can. And chaos is their theme song right now, but that's what makes life fun. And that speaks my language because chaos is in my family as well. And well, real quick, in this episode, we're going to be diving into how it all began, where the growth and the lessons started, and where Lexi is today from all of her experiences. But first and foremost, can you tell our listeners how we met, how you found me?
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for letting me be on here today. Excited to join you and talk through all these things.
Yes.
So let's see. Last fall, I started looking for a family photographer, and I just posted on one of the local mom groups, like, "Hey, looking for somebody." And Brittany was somebody that was recommended, and I was like, all right, like, let's go. So I started messaging, and in typical mom FBI fashion, I started doing a deep dive into all things, looking through all of the different profiles, trying to figure out, how are we going to work? Is this going to be a good fit? Whatever it might be. And I feel like we instantly clicked. Like, we were able to relate on so many different factions, like having my brother who is disabled, being able to kind of talk through the nuances that go through that and the struggles and just the heartfelt different emotions there. Talking more on a religious sense, talking about like the greater good and where everything comes from and knowing all these different things, but also just the fact that I have 3 young kids at home and the craziness and the chaos that comes with that. So Brittany has now photographed 2 different sessions for us. One with for our Christmas cards for the kids. The girls were 6 months old. And then right after the girls turned 1, we did a nice little shoot in our home where Brittany really got to see the hustle and bustle and chaos of all things the Kinney kids are. So.
And that, I seriously was like holding back tears of like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Like, you guys were just in your element, and I loved pretty much being a fly on the wall with the camera in front of my face of just capturing your guys' moments, just because I guess it's just like, I don't know, again, just the spirit and the connection, the vibe that we connected. I'm like, I love these girls, and I barely even like, I feel like I barely know them, but I do, because I just watch you on through social media and how much they've grown, and just like the new updates and the outfits. Oh my gosh, the outfits. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. We could talk so much about the outfits, but I'm just drawn to your vibe. And like you said, the chaos, I'm just like, that's my language. Like, I speak that. I'm like, how can I help you capture that and do all the fabulous things? So I'm honored that you chose me as your photographer, because I literally cannot take enough of your family. It's a breath of fresh air, actually. So I love it so much. So thank you so much for that intro.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dive in for the first question. What's something people see on the outside but don't know about you, for like your journey?
I think one thing is, like, I come off with like a very, I think, positive, bubbly attitude. Like, you'll always see me, I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm out there doing whatever it can be. done and I'm always willing to help. And I think that really stems a lot from my mother. Like my mom is the one that will literally give her shirt off of her back for you. And I think that's something that's always resonated with me growing up is like she is the most bubbly person in the room. She can talk to anybody. Like she can make friends with a brick wall. And everybody's always said like, "Oh, you can there goes Lexi talking to the wall again." Like my mom's like, "You came out and you were talking." Like that's just but I laugh because it's like everybody knows like, "Oh, you're a little energy bunny. Like you can do these things." But it stems from my mom. Like I got that from her, like watching her growing up doing all these things. And I think that like I just like try to like and like take in everything that I've learned from her over the years like that. But it's like I might be this big outgoing person, but like my favorite time of the day is absolute silence. Not having to talk, not having to interact, not having to do anything, just being able to sit in bed with my phone and just veg, like doom scroll. Like that is the thing. Like, yeah, I can talk your ear off all day long, but my favorite thing to do is just be zen.
Just be zen. I absolutely love that because I think we all can connect with like there's a time and place of like I have to turn off my brain because I don't think there can be one more thing coming out of my mouth
Yeah.
to communicate with anybody or help anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh,
I think
I
it all stems from like
just
I hate silence. Like I hate awkward pauses. Like if I'm with somebody, I feel like I have to be talking to you at all times. Like if there's like a dull moment, I'm like, so what color is the sky? Like just trying to like fill in a gap. I don't like awkward silence. I just don't do well with it in general. But it's funny because at the end of the day, like my husband will be trying to talk to me and I'm just like zombied out. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is my downtime. This is my time for me. Like, no more talking, no engagement.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh, that makes me laugh. Again, the connection of just the relatability of like, oh, that sounds a lot like me too. I can relate to that on so many levels of just like, I want to talk and not liking silence. I just want to get all information of like, maybe I can learn more if I just keep talking. Maybe they're uncomfortable. So I'll just talk for them. And yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, then it's sometimes it's like foot in the mouth, and then it's like, oh my gosh, how do I backpedal? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will tell you I'm an open book. Boundaries like are non-existent. Like there's no such thing as TMI. I'm always like, I look at it as like, tell me more information. Like I want to hear all the things. I want to know all the deep dark secrets. Like I love it. I always laugh because people at work are like, I shouldn't be telling you this. And I'm like, well, it's fine. Like, but I'm school for social work. So like what I do is I'm good at like sitting down and engaging and getting into that deeper connection with people. Like I want to know the details. I want to help. Like I always think I go into things with a how can I help attitude, just because like that's who I am as a person. Like I learned it from my mom. She's definitely the same type. Like I'll give the shirt off my back for somebody because that's what I grew up around. Like that's all I've ever encompassed.
Encompassed. Now, kind of going back with what your profession is, did you do that before the girls were born?
Yeah. So right out of college, I worked in ABA therapy with autistic kids. So I did in-home therapy. Loved it. I always joked that my best friend was like a 2-year-old or a 6-year-old. I loved it. And then I transitioned to a juvenile youth probation officer. So working in the inner streets of Milwaukee with these kids who had been in the system with some sort of different legal complexities. It was the most challenging but rewarding job I think I've had to date. I would call my parents after days and just be like, thank you. Like, thank you for yelling at me. Thank you for disciplining me. Thank you for being here. Because I think that was something that these kids would act out because they didn't get that at home. And I
Mm.
ended up doing like a mentorship program with a couple of the kids that I had developed really close relationships with, and I loved it. But my husband boyfriend at the time was moving to Texas, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And he actually was the one that said, like, maybe you should look at sales. So I looked at a company, a textile company in Houston, and I got a job there. I started out as like a BDR. So, hitting the phones and setting up meetings for those account executives, and slowly transitioned. I worked there for 2.5 years. And then I moved into healthcare payments, which is kind of the space that I work in now. So anytime you get a hospital bill, I can do like the paper statements, put up the portal, the text, the emails, all the fun things there.
Wow.
And I've been in this now for 7, 8 years, and I love it.
Wow. Wow. It's just your gift of what you're really good. Again, when you're helping and serving people, you can just connect and how you can just help them feel comfortable.
Mhm.
With that, because you were talking earlier about your brother. Now, is this your brother that's older or is he younger than you?
He is younger than me, so 2 years younger. It was always funny because he and I were the same size, and everyone used to think we were twins. So
Twins.
I'm lucky enough that I came from a blended family. So he was my dad. In my family we don't view anything as like a stepdad or anything like
Step.
that.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
My family, that's the only thing I've ever known. So
Mm.
he came with my dad, I came with my mom, and then they had two girls after that. So my brother Derek and I were 2 years apart. And then my sisters are 7 and 8 years younger than me. And it's kind of funny because Derek and I growing up were always really close because we had that age. And Eden and Abby were always really close. And I always kind of envied them because, like, you wanted that sister connection. And we
Yeah.
didn't have that. Like, they were so much younger than me. They would take my clothes. They always wanted to hang out with me, but like, I'm too big and like too cool at that time to like hang out with you guys. And it's fun now because, well, I have all my kids now, but they're around. It's so fun watching them change into that like auntie position and being able to relate with them more on like that adult personal level and like actually having
Mm.
that relationship with them that I didn't have growing up because of the big age difference. Like, I was in college or I lived in Texas. So there was just that big kind of like gap in age. And now that we're all like older and have this more like relatability of just like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes life sucks. And like, I feel like things are tough. Like being able to actually relate on those different types of things now is so much fun.
Oh, I bet. And just having family in general and
Mhm.
that bonding and, unity is powerful in of itself.
It is. And we moved away for 5 years. So we lived in Texas for 5 years, got married down there during COVID. Like we FaceTimed our family because of COVID, we had to cancel our actual big wedding. So we had our family on
Oh,
FaceTime and
jeez.
got married by the water. It was beautiful. And then did our big celebration the next year. But like when we were sitting here thinking about what does the future look like for us, what do we want to do? We knew that coming home was the important thing, like having that family unit
Mm.
being close to family. So we decided to move home. My parents live 25 minutes away. My in laws, well, we share a backyard with my brother and sister in law, but my in laws actually live right down the road. So it's like we get to be around our family every single weekend. Every day after work, we're outside and the kids get to play. And like that was really the big thing for us is being around that family unit. We've done the being away, we've missed the holidays, we missed all the important events. Like we've done that time. And now that we're here, we want to just soak up every minute we can while we still have the time. And I think kind of going back, like my brother died at 18 years old. Like I think that kind of shows like the emphasis of needing that have that family unit and soaking up the time you have because nothing is promised. Like being able to
Mm.
be here and be around their families and watch them grow up. It's just, nobody's getting younger. We want to be able to be around while we can.
I love that you said that nothing is promised. Like that should be like a tattoo, that should be a shirt, a bumper sticker. Like that is a powerful short statement in and of itself. Nothing is promised. And you just your viewpoint and especially the importance and how you see families because there's so much animosity with so many people like with their families
Yeah.
that it's a gift to have. And for that you guys that have it, oh, that's so I love that so much. Can you share a moment in your life when you faced a major challenge and how it shaped the woman you are today?
I think that would definitely go back to my brother. So I've mentioned here and there that, I just mentioned he passed at 18. So when I was in high school, I was going into my senior year of high school. My brother got in a car and drove and got in a very bad accident. He was 15 years old. He shouldn't have been behind the wheel. That's a story for a different time. But he took it down a gravel road, lost control, and got wedged in between two trees. Um, Life flighted, had to have major brain surgery. We were told it would be a miracle if he made it through the night. Well, he did. So I now have a tattoo that my mom also has that says, believe in miracles, because it is a miracle what he did. When I say survived, he didn't survive on the same front that like he went in with. He was this 6'5" football player, like big kid, just like the biggest kid you can imagine. Like we called him Bear. He was this big kid, and it's kind of funny because I'm a little 5'1" kid, and he's like 6'2" at the time, and he ended up being the kid that was out starting on all the games and playing in all the sports and active as you could be. To he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he was bound to a wheelchair, he had a feeding tube. Like it wasn't the life that he imagined. Like it shaped me in a different way because I went from thinking, well, I mean, he always thought he was Superman, he was invincible, nothing could hurt him. And it went to show like life's a gift. Like nothing's promised. You don't have that time. And to be grateful for the time and the family that you do have around. Like grudges, they're not worth it because at the end of the day, you don't know when that last moment's going to be. And for the longest time, I had this like huge resentment and like guilt in myself because that morning I was going to work and he came downstairs before football practice and he's like, "Hey, I see there's the carrot cake in there. Can I have some?" And I'm like, "Well, I brought it home from mom and dad. So like, don't eat it all." Well, that's the day he got in an accident. And I'm like, well, maybe if I would have just let him eat it, he wouldn't have gotten in his accident. Like, just like the guilt of trying to like, I don't know, like rationalize in my head. But going back to that day, like I was babysitting, I nannied 2 little boys, and my best friend came with her kids that she was nannying. Like we were in the same neighborhood. So we took the kids to go get lunch. And all of a sudden we see all the fire trucks and ambulance going by and we're like, what's going on? So like we jumped in the car and went and saw it like to the area that they were at. And they're like, "Hey, you guys need to turn around." So I ended up getting a phone call later that day, somebody saying, "Where's your parents? Where's Derek? He was in an accident." And at that moment, I saw my mom coming into town. So I live in a very small farm town. It's just surrounded by farm fields. So you can see all the cars coming in. So I actually had to tell my mom that he was in the accident. And I feel like delivering that news has like forever altered my brain chemistry. Like then having to tell my sisters and seeing like that fallout and just the way that my family came together, and honestly the way the town came together for us after everything happened as well. I will say nothing speaks more about the people that are in your life more than a tragic event or a death. People seem to run and hide, but the people that show up at those times are the people that mean the most, like are there for you through it all. So
Wow. That's a very powerful perspective of when those incidences happen. Who shows up? Who's going to help? Who's helping you in your life? The comfort. What can I do to relieve the little burden to what you're going through? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my heart. Oh heavens. Thank you for sharing that. As a mother, and an employee working, just trying to survive the day-to-day tasks as a mom, especially 24/7 with your 3 beautiful girls, how do you find balance to stay true to yourself?
You know, I feel like that is just a season of life. Like, I feel like right now, my season of life is surviving. Like, I've got 3 young kids, let alone twins. Like, I think I have been in fight or flight mode for the last year. Like,
Yeah.
managing newborn twins was not for the weak. And it's funny because Justin and I were just talking about this last night, like, yo, well, once you get back to feeling good and like doing all the things. And I think that I am just finally coming out of the fight or flight mode to actually starting to like enjoy doing things again, being able to get out, able to not feel like a constant state of just like anxiety and, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle this? And what am I going to be able to do next? I kind of just started, letting it go. Like I can only control so much, which for me is like really hard because I am definitely a control freak. But like there's only so much that one person can do. And at the end of the day, if it's not done, it's not done. Like what are pebbles or a boulder is one thing that I've always said. Is it a boulder? Like this thing is going to move mountains and this is the end all. I am going to die on this hill. Or is it a pebble? Like, you know what? It's annoying. it is what it is. And I've just kind of had to like take in that mindset now with all things going forward. And like, I can only control so much and I need to let the rest happen. But I also need to lean into my family unit. Like, I need to ask for help. I need to tell Justin, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Or even just thank God for my nanny being like, you know what? You've got this here. I'm going to go to the coffee shop and just take a break. Like, just finding some sort of like self identity now is like where I'm trying to figure out, like, what is my livelihood? What do I need? What do I want to do? Like, I think I'm just still kind of trying to embrace motherhood, but also find that new sense of normal. And like, what does that mean? Like, what used to be important to me, I could really care less about these days. And I think that's something that I'm still trying to kind of untwine and figure out about myself these days.
That's very impressive. Like, were you in, I just, I guess it's not a were. I believe God was inspired you about that analogy with the pebble and the boulder. Like, did that just come? And how did that come to you? Like, that's so like amazing.
There is this influencer on Instagram that I follow, and I just like think she's great. Like, I don't know where it came from. She randomly one time showed up on my feed, and she was like a fitness influencer. They own like a supplement company and like all these things. And I just like started following her, and somebody asked her, like, how do you guys like get past fights? Like, you guys seem like you never fight. And she's like, is it a Pebble or a Boulder? Like, I want to manage everything. I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO of all these X, Y, and Z companies, because they have like tons of different companies underneath them. She's like, but it's not worth the fight. And I definitely was one that like I was ready to go at any time. I would fight at the drop of a nail. Like, I was ready to go and I loved it. Like, there was something about the fight that just was what I did. And my husband even said, he's like, ever since we had kids, like, we don't fight. And it's like, because it's not worth it. I also don't want my kids to grow up and think like, it's normal for mom and dad to scream and fight at each other. Like, if I'm fighting with you, it's definitely like, it's a boulder for me. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pick an argument because a bowl's put away wrong or you didn't take out the garbage. Like, annoying, sure. Like, but it's not worth it. There's so much other things that I could be spending my time and energy towards. And I just kind of remind myself of that. Like, sure, it might be annoying and it's not the way that I want it done, but just because it's not the way that I want it done doesn't mean it's not done right. And I think that's where a lot of it stems from for me is it something that's actually hurting our child or hurting our relationship or hurting somebody else? No, then let it go. Like, at the end of the day, as long as everybody's safe and fed, it doesn't really matter how it's done as long as it's done. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Like, it's just like, it like just spoke to you. Like, I mean, just how it's like spoke to me. I'm like, oh, that was good. I'm like, you should write a book. Like, that was really good.
Well, it's funny because when Justin used to always say we win as a team and we lose as a team. And the days we'd get into a fight, we lost as a team. And that used to be something that would speak to me too, because again, I could realize I'm wrong 3 minutes into the fight, but like, I just, I had to keep going. Like, I'm headstrong. I had to keep going with it. And now it's like, I could realize I'm wrong. And I'm like, you're right. Sorry. Like, it's not worth ruining my whole day over anymore. Like, now I have kids. Like, if I'm in a bad mood, like I'm not going to be able to always put on a happy face. Like, it's not worth that to me. Like, I'm focused on making sure they have the best childhood. So being a happy mom and a happy wife and a happy person in general is the best way to do that and make sure that they don't have to see those troubles or the frustrations that I'm going through on a day-to-day basis.
And you do it with the grace and humility of acknowledging of like, I was wrong. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, a lot of people, like, I'm one of, like, many times I get really stubborn. I'm like, oh, heck to the no. I'm not going to tell you I'm wrong. But it's been a huge lesson of like, calm. I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Like, that's huge. That's big.
I think a lot of it stems from, I have a toddler and like her new thing is I said no. And I'm like, girl. And I know, I wonder where she heard that from.
It's so great.
So like, I keep trying to like, bottling is the best like thing. And so like, I'll have to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Mommy was wrong. Like, having to model that for her even just to like, even though it sucks, like, you have to admit you're wrong. You have to curl up and like do all the things. Like, sometimes just modeling it for her and showing like, oh, mommy and daddy can have a disagreement and mommy and daddy can say sorry too. Like the other day, she didn't want to say sorry. And I was like literally 30 minutes into a fight with her. And I finally was like, you know what? I understand saying sorry is hard right now. Like mommy will say sorry for you and you need to give hugs. And then like 5 minutes later, after I stopped putting that like fight into her, she walked up to Sissy and says, I'm sorry, Sissy. And it's like, then she looks at me and goes, mommy happy now. And it's like, it's modeling the behaviors for her to understand. It's just one of those things where you just kind of gotta sometimes suck up your pride and realize like it is what it is. Like it's just not worth it, and you gotta model and show them because they're watching everything you do.
And hearing everything, every detail. I'm all like, how do you know that? Are you eavesdropping? Like, what? Mind your own business. They
One
just
of the
want to
girls
know.
was tantrum the other day, and I'm like, Jesus, what is the issue? And Madeline also goes, Jesus, and I'm like, oh God. Don't say that. Mommy shouldn't have done that. Like, whoops. No.
I love it. I love it so much. But again, acknowledging and showing our own children, like parents, a mom and dad can be wrong too. It's not just always like pointing the finger at the kids. Did you ever take what you learned from work or experienced and kind of amplify it to like as a parent, like, oh, you know what? I learned this through working with other people and I'm trying it with my kids too. Or is there that balance of not really?
I mean, I feel like there's definitely like a time and a place for that. I think I've taken little bits of all of my jobs and like incorporated it into like how I parent today. Some of it is just through conversations with other moms at work, like, or other parents at work in general. Like, I have several coworkers who our kids are all around the same age. So it's like, gosh, we're really struggling with this right now. And they're like, oh, yeah, same. And just kind of sometimes having that validation of like, yeah, you're not alone. This is completely normal. Cause like, you know, when your kid's acting out, sometimes you think it's just your kid.
It's
And like,
just you.
yeah. So there's that. But then I think going back to even the juvenile youth that I worked with and seeing kind of the struggles and some of the things that I saw there, I think that attention was the biggest thing that those kids seek. And trying to make sure that I spend that time being present with my kids to like make sure that they don't seek that. Like if Madeline's trying to talk to me, like trying to make sure that I'm actually giving her my attention and not sitting there on my phone or ignoring her or like whatever it might be. It's funny because the days that I am more like on my phone or distracted are the days that she acts out more. Like she picks up on that. So
Oh,
it's just like trying to kind of take
interesting.
that in. But like I think a big thing that I've done recently is there's this huge shift in AI. And I'm not saying I'm gonna let AI parent for me, but let me tell you, ChatGPT, when I'm in the middle of a full-blown meltdown with a toddler, the parenting advice that it gives me is undeniably amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to modify some of it, but it has really, really helped out with certain things. Like the other day, Madeline, 30 minutes into that, they're like, don't make it into a mountain of a fight. Like she's too young to understand. Like you model the behavior. 5 minutes later, then she was, you know, saying sorry. So it's some of that is, I think, something that I've been taking in from work a lot more. But I mean, I think there's just things that's case by case, just hearing from other moms or other dads that I'm close with at work that I can relate to now.
And I think that's a good approach because I too just kind of I like taking nuggets from friends, family that are in that same age time frame that you can relate and connect and heed to. And I reach out to chat. I've named her Felicia. Like it's just one of those like I utilize and take a little bit from it because I'm not like, hey, lead me to my life of what I should and should not do. You know, that's what God does for me. I just need like, can you just give me some insight? So I love that you do that and just like, oh, that worked, didn't it? So there's a balance in all things. You know, God gives us tools and the scriptures and other resources, but there's always a balance. When you use too much, you know, like you can lose sight of other things, and you do that so well. Very inspiring. I tell you what. Again, you should write a book.
No.
Think about it maybe 20 years from here. I'll ask you again. What advice would you give women who feel lost, unseen, or unsure of just their next step, just as a woman or just as a parent?
I think just lean into it. Like
Mm,
hard times are gonna pass. Um, Not every time has to be a bad time or a hard time. Like there's a lesson behind everything. So lean into it, embrace it. Your rock bottom is there. You're gonna find a way up. Um, but I also think like don't stop swimming. Like
oh yeah.
find the find the good. Like find the thing that is worth it. Like no matter how dark things could be, I can look at those girls and it's like, okay, I have to go. Like we don't have an option. We got to keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also like there's more than, you always hear people talking about your village, find your village, but some people don't have that. Get into local groups, lean into scripture, find that one positive thing and just, I think with all downs and struggles, like you have to find and embrace all of the emotions with it. Like there's a reason that you're going through it and you might not understand it now, but it's a lesson for later in life. Like just embrace it, run with it, lean into it, feel all the things and find that light and go for it.
Wow, yeah, that is so true. So true. Thank you so much. It's very comforting. And I know there's going to be a lot of women on here like, okay, I can relate to that. Okay, I hear that. And so I think there's going to be a lot of powerful messages, even just statements that you said that people are like, oh, I need to have that on the bumper sticker. I need that on my shirt. Like you just said so many valuable nuggets of just like information. I'm like, oh, ooh, I may have to listen to this again myself. Like this is really good. This is deep. What are you most proud of overcoming, even if no one has seen it, like fully sees it from the outside?
Ooh, most proud of overcoming. I think that one of the things that I've always grown up struggling with, so I mentioned that I'm part of a blended family. My brother, his mom was involved. My biological father was not. And I had a lot of issues with that growing up. Like, why does
Mm,
he get my mom and his mom, and I only get his dad? Like, and don't get me wrong, my dad is. I think it takes a special person to step up and to love somebody
mm-hmm,
else's child as their own, and that is all he has ever encompassed for me. Like, he has always been that figure, and he's always been enough. But there's still always this like, why wasn't I enough for my sperm donor to be involved? Um,
mm-hmm.
and it took a lot of learning and growth and figuring out like, you know what, there's only so much you can control. But that was one thing that took me a long time to overcome. And even still, I struggle with this. I was just talking with one of my friends about this the other day, and it's like, it's almost like an identity crisis where you're trying to figure out like, who are you and where did you come from? And you have questions and even just like the self-doubt of like, why wasn't I not enough? Like, why didn't you want
Hmm.
me? Um, that's always been one of those things that I've had to like overcome and struggled with. Even picking a father for my children, like I don't care. We are in this for life. We are not going to put these kids through a divorce. You are going to be present, and I'm so grateful to say that I've picked an amazing father for my children.
Yes,
But like that
yes,
was something
yes.
I think I struggled with my entire life growing up. And even still, like there's
Mm,
times where I get really frustrated because it's like, why? I couldn't imagine not having or like looking at this little child and just being like, bye. Like
bye.
it's just one of those things that, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to dive into that. It's always been a
No,
struggle for
yeah.
me. I think
It's still it's still healing right now. It's not
Mhm.
fully like answered and placed before you of like, okay, this is what happened, this is what I'm doing, this is how I will
Yeah,
overcome it. It's still a healing process and there's no time frame for that.
no,
And it's it's comforting to know that again no one's perfect, but yet as you're going through your lives you see what you want for your children and you communicate what you and your husband communicate, you and Justin communicate what you both are working towards to show your children. And so you're
Yeah.
giving them all of these gifts and these tools because of what you experienced in your, as a youth growing up in your
Yep.
family. And it's huge. It's very huge. And do you connect and relate into your faith and reach to God during those hard times? Or how do you connect with God with
Yeah,
these experiences?
I definitely do. I think that in general, whenever times are tough, you fall back on that faith. But I also have friends who are in similar situations as me. Like they
Mm,
don't know who their fathers are, or they don't have that relationship. Or I have friends who have young kids that the fathers aren't around. So like kind of even just remembering the struggles that I went through and that pain and that uh like heartbreak almost, and using it to catapult myself forward, or using that to help with my friends' kids, or just like that
hmm,
relationship in general. um I think I always fall back on my faith. I think that's always kind of my groundwork for everything. But
mhm,
then being open and honest about the feelings. And I tell Justin all the time, like he tries as hard as he can to understand, but unfortunately, well, fortunately for him, he doesn't understand. And I hope he never
mhm.
does understand. Well, he won't, because he's 32 years old and his dad's in the picture. Like, unless you've been through it, it's not one of those things that you really understand. And like people try, and I appreciate that. But I think it's at some point you just kind of you let it go, and you can only control what you can control. And I'm not going to waste my energy on it anymore. Like it is what it is. And yeah, it sucks. But having those people who know the story and can relate to it in those aspects, like I just kind of embrace it for what it is at this point. I'm very fortunate that I still had a dad figure. Like my mom and dad got married at when I was 5 years old. So it's like I never grew up without a dad in the picture, because he embraced that my entire life. Like even before that, my mom was mom and dad. And then once dad came along, he has done everything. Like he's been there for my kids. He's been
Hmm.
there for anything you can imagine. He's been there through all of the hard times. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to say I had a father figure still, where others don't. So I try and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
I didn't have it the worst that it could have been. There's others out there that have it worse.
And I really feel that God prepares us for the experiences that we go through in our life because he knows how our experiences that we go through, how we can impact and help people that we meet in our path through
Hmm.
communication or just even listening. Sometimes someone just needs someone to listen, like whether you understand it or not. Like, I just need someone to hear me.
Yeah,
I just need to talk about it.
yeah,
And I feel like you have both of experienced it, but you can listen to it because you still had that other father figure to get you through your life and to be there and comfort and give you that role model.
absolutely. There's a song by Matthew West. It's called Strong Enough. And if you haven't heard it, I highly recommend listening to it. But it is a song that just, when you are in the trenches, when you feel like you can't handle it enough, the message behind the song is God is never going to put something on your plate that you can't handle. And
Mm,
whenever you feel it's feeling heavy, give it to God. Like he is there, he's going to handle it for you, and you're strong enough to handle all of these different things. And that I think really kind of just resonates. Like it's a song I share with all of my friends whenever something happens, when my friend's father died, when somebody's been diagnosed with cancer, whatever the thing is, that is the song I resort to. You are strong enough, you can handle this. Like no matter what, lean into your faith. You have this. He's got your back. And I think that's really what it is, like reminding myself that he's not going to give you something you can't handle. Like you're always going to overcome it. And there's a lesson behind it at the end.
wow. I tell you what, through your whole entire, like this interview, like I have had emotions, I've had goosebumps, and I'm just like, this is so good. Oh my gosh. Everybody's going to push play again. Like, let's do repeat and listen to this again because they're going to be taking notes. And I'm just in awe because your whole entire, like your life, these experiences that you're sharing, you really utilize the Pebble and the Boulder. And I'm like, there she goes again. Oh my gosh, how does she do that? Like, it's such a like cement of like foundation for her of like, oh, guess is just let it go. And like, oh, is this gonna be a boulder? I'm like, okay, we're gonna have this in my path right now. We needed to put this into my communication. It's so great.
I get angry at people that just want to live life angry. Like there's so much worth living for. And I think that's just something I don't understand. And I don't know. I just keep trying to remember, like, I don't want to be an angry person. I'm happier when I'm happy. Everybody around me is happier when I'm happy. So like, I just use that metaphor in my life. Like, it's not the end of the world. And I tell my friends that too. Like, I have a friend who will complain to me about something and I'm like, okay, well, is it a pebble or a boulder? Like, and one of them has said, well, it's several pebbles. It's several pebbles leading into a boulder. And I'm like, you know what? I get that. If it's getting to that point, then it is time to say something. Like, yeah, I can resonate with that. I can understand that frustration. But it's just, that's kind of just my tagline. Is it a pebble or a boulder going into life at these points?
It's so great. You have this foundation of the Pebble and the Boulder, and then you have this, what was his name? Matthew West, you said? Strong Enough?
Yeah.
And then this song that you give to people, like you have these tools that you're just like, here, let me help you here. And you're just like, wow. Like, what do you not do?
I need a tattoo on my head that says, how can I help?
My parents say the same thing, like, speak to me, I will listen. I'm like, oh yeah, I will actually listen. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am just in awe, and I could talk to you literally for hours, but you do have a life and all these littles that are just doing so well, and your fur babies. When they're doing good, everybody's doing good. I mean, from what I can hear.
I think everyone's napping, so I think we're in a good place right now.
We're in a good place. I love it. I'm so grateful for it. When people hear your story, what do you hope they take away from it? I know we've talked about, like, we've recapped so many things, but what do you want people to take away from your story?
It's not over. Like, it's not the end.
Yeah.
Like, even though times suck and I've gone through some of the worst that people can go through, like, you got to keep moving on. Like, you just can't give up. So, and I also think another thing is like, believe in miracles. Like, that has always kind of been foundations we've lived on. What was it? Almost 2 years ago now, my sister was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer. She was 22 years old. Like,
oh my gosh,
not something that she should be seeing. And
no,
as of, I think she's almost a year and a half. I think about a year and a half cancer free. And it's like, you believe in miracles. She had it. They were like, oh, you're so young. This surgery is going to be simple. It'll be easy. And that was not the case. She had several complications that came along with it. But it's like, people always joke like, wow, you've been through a lot. Like you've gone through a lot. And I just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is at this point. But like, believe in the miracles, trust the process, and
you don't like to be angry. You're just like, okay, how am I taking this today? What's the lesson I need to learn? And how can I serve? How can I help? And yeah, the strong attitude and perspective that you have, and just how I love just seeing from who you were growing up and how you've molded into this beautiful motherhood of what your girls have given to you and just what you and Justin have. It's seriously so inspiring. And I'm just so grateful. I am eternally grateful that you took the time to be here with me to share your story with my listeners. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be downloading this and listening to it and taking notes. So thank you for your insight, for your honesty, just being raw and real, and just talking. I know how much you love that. So I was very grateful for that. It was. So I'm grateful for this conversation. And thank you again, Lexi, for showing us what courage, grace, and authenticity truly looks like. If you guys love this episode, which I know you will, you're going to save it probably double times, heart it, love it, share it with your friends, share it with all the women that could really embrace and take this to heart for their lives. I would really appreciate if you could leave a review, because that helps me. I'm just a little lady just trying to grow her little business here and podcast and sharing women's stories, but empowering them through my words and photography. This is your reminder that your next chapter can start today. And like Lexi said, you can be the pebble get in the way. Is it a pebble or is it a boulder? And I love that so much. Thank you. And until next time, my gorgeous friends, have a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you again, Lexi. Truly, honest to goodness, thank you for your time. Take care. If something in this episode spoke to you, don't ignore it. That's your sign. Share it, speak it, act on it. And if you're ready to truly be seen through a photo shoot or by sharing your story right here on this podcast, this is your moment to step forward. Because your voice matters, your story matters, and the world needs what you have to offer.